this video I'm going to talk about tax return for students. This is a complex topic and not every case is the same, so I've tried to provide information that applies to the majority. I've divided this video in 4 sections. The first one is what are the requirements, the second one is what can be actually claimed, the third one is how to apply for a tax return, and in the end I will show you an example of a student getting 1700 euros tax refund from the government. But before I continue, I would really appreciate if you hit the like button. It only takes a second and helps me out a lot and lets me know that you're appreciating my hard work. In many cases, applying for a tax return is not mandatory. For example, if you are in tax class 1, or in case of a married person, if both of the partners are in tax class 4, then you're not legally obliged to submit a tax return. For all mandatory filers, the deadline is the 31st of July of the following year. So for 2021 has till the end of July 2021 to apply for a tax return. For voluntary tax return, one can apply for up to 4 years in the past. So in 2021, a student can apply for a tax return for the year 2020, 2019, 2018 and 2017 and carry forward losses up to 7 years. More on that later. So what are the documents that are needed? The first document that's needed is the tax identification number. It's the 11-digit number that you receive once you register within Germany. So probably within the first few days you receive a letter which has this 11-digit number, and that's your tax identification number. The second document that's usually needed is the Lohnsteuerbescheinigung. This is the document that you usually receive at the end of the year from your employer. This has all of the details that are needed to successfully fill in a tax return. You also need a bank account where your tax return will actually be reimbursed from the government. So what can a student claim in their tax return? Well, a student can claim all of the education fees during their study period. For example, semester fees, library fees, university registration fees, anything that is related to the studies can be claimed. Then comes the transportation cost. You can actually claim the distance that you've traveled from your home to the university. You can also claim any distance that you've traveled from your home to any seminar, any study session or the library that you have traveled for your education purposes. Then comes the relocation cost. Many students that come to Germany are international students. They can also claim the costs that are related to them relocating from their home country to Germany. This means that you can claim your flight ticket or any other luggage costs that have incurred for you during your relocation. This also comes into play when you relocate because of your thesis or your internship. Then come the internet and telephone bills. Students can also claim the costs that are associated with using their mobile phone and internet at home. Another large category for tax claims is the electronic costs. Any costs associated with devices that help you out in your study process can be claimed as well. Any laptop that you bought during your studies can also be claimed, but make sure it's not a really expensive one. Anything that's reasonably cost can be claimed. Mobile phones, Kindles, tablets can also be claimed. Students can also claim general equipments as well. For example, pen, pencil, other tools, any papers that you bought, any things that you got printed. For example, students print out their thesis, their internship reports. Those costs can also be claimed in a tax return. Application costs are another category which can also be claimed. For example, students apply for thesis or internships during their studies, or also at the end of their studies they apply for jobs. These expenses can also be claimed in the tax return. Any realized losses in your investments can also be mentioned in the tax claim. And these are not the only things that you can claim. There are many other things that I might have forgotten to mention in this video. Another important thing is to keep proof of things whenever possible. This helps you out in your tax returns. However, they can also help you out in managing your expenses as well. There are many ways you can apply for a tax return. For example, you can ask for professional help. For example, a Steuerberater or tax consultant. You can apply for tax return through a Steuerhilfeverein. You can actually buy software online. For example, I have this Steuer 2000 CD. Then you can apply for free using Elster. This is the free software that is provided by the government. You can go online, register there, and you can actually apply for free. Then there are online applications which are the best solution that I have found, as I have applied for a tax return using the Elster platform on my own using this CD. I've also applied using these web platforms And the best thing and the easiest thing that I found was using these web platforms. The costs vary from 25 onwards, but I think this is a very small amount compared to the benefits that you get and the ease with which you can use these softwares. All said and done, you need to pay taxes before you can claim them. Many students actually do not earn a lot during their study period, so they cannot claim most of the things that I have mentioned, as they haven't actually paid that much amount in terms of taxes in order to get this money back from the government. So here Verlustvortrag or loss carried forward comes into play. What this means is students can carry forward their losses from their previous years of studies, and they can actually claim this tax back once they have worked for a whole year in their full-time job. Let's take an example of someone who has a full-time job of 50,000 euros for the first year. So for a 50,000 euro salary, 12,000 euros of income tax will be cut at this moment. But if someone has a 32,000 euros loss carried forward from 3 years of previous education, now the tax will actually be cut from 18,000 euros instead of the whole 50,000 euros amount. And your income tax will actually be 1,200 euros instead of 12,000 euros, and you'll get back 10,800 euros as a return. Now you might think that you would actually get back this 32,000 amount. It doesn't work like that. You actually get back the amount that you pay in terms of your taxes. So for example, one of my subscribers actually sent me these details. They actually submitted their tax return after finishing their studies. They did 2 years in their studies, and after finishing 1 year of their full-time job, they applied for tax return and they had carried forward their losses. As I said in the beginning, you can carry forward up to 7 years of losses in the future. If you're interested in investing in the stock market, you can watch this video here. And if you are interested in investing in cryptocurrencies, you can watch this video here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bleibt gesund.